Spoil mama on the go, lighten up the road, caring heart and bubbly smile, lifting up the load. Sweet and helpful, got that cheer, every friend all year. Witty spark and endless laughs, always bringing near. Every soulless soul, sailing wide, oceans calling true. Travel far to explore, travel far, discover more, seas that sparkle blue. Cruising waves with breeze in hair, trail without a map. Mom and family side by side, take another lap. Oh, my land, take us home where the wild winds blow. From Canada to distant shores, with love we'll always go. Oh, my land, light the night, guide us with your flame. With your spirit, we are free and never be the same. Family ties that never break, love that leads the way. In your arms we find the strength, rocking every day. Smiles that shine on rainy days, through the fog and mist. In your warmth, our hearts are held. Feel that gentle kiss. Oh, like the land, take us home where the wild winds blow. From Canada to distant shores, with love we'll always go. Oh, like the land, light the night, guide us with your flame. With your spirit, we are free, never be the same. Mountains high and valleys low, through it all you stand. Anchor strong in stormy seas, steady as the land. Memory of every trip, laughter on the breeze. With you, life's an endless ride, always here to please.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, Roxy?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing good?
Yeah.
I just realized I forgot to do something, so I'm just popping over here to fix it if I can. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, well. Forgot to set up some stuff beforehand. Oh, well. I guess we just wing it tonight on that one. I'll go back to my stream. There's StreamYard again. What's up, ladies? We're just chatting a little beforehand, and then I'm stealing a page from the Ducks book, and instead of we're in Australia, it's going to be where the Canuck are we? So once a month, I'm not doing a weekly thing. Once a month, I'll pick some place in Canada. And I got a whole big country up here to choose from. Let's show some pictures. Let's see if people can guess where it is. think there's some of the clues on this one might give it away just by some of the settings. People can guess it. Then I'll describe what each place is. Won't take long, and then we can just chit chat.
Sounds like fun.
So I set it up as a presentation. So we're there. Okay. Oops, I gotta go back over here and do the share screen thing, because if I go up on that, I won't be able to save my screen because the presentation blocks the whole screen. Then I'm gonna need to go over here and bring up the live on my phone so I can see the chat. Boy, I wasn't prepared.
I know. That's one thing I don't like about StreamYard. It's hard to see the chat and share your screens too.
Yeah,
so I do have screens sometimes.
We were shooting the breeze too beforehand. It's gonna find where my live is on my phone. There it is. I'm gonna turn down the volume. Put it on.
Let's see. Are we going to be somewhere by water, or somewhere by snow, or somewhere by an igloo?
You'll have to wait and see.
Are there igloos in Canada? I'm joking. I don't know.
Well, people seem to think we live in igloos, but we don't. Well, people might have once in a while, but okay.
I mean, mostly igloos now for show.
I know some places in, or was it Alaska, do like a nice festival. It was Anchorage or Fairbanks. I think it was Fairbanks, because the channel I follow is in North Pole, Alaska, and they're close to Fairbanks, and they do an ice festival thing, and then quite often they'll build a big igloo that people can go inside and that, and they'll put all kinds of different. I see you suck at geography. Well, maybe the clues will help. Okay. Let's make sure it's up on there on the screen. Good. Now, I gotta go over here. So I can. Or is it where the heck are we, or where the are we? Where the Canuck are we?
Big Long Bridge.
The big long bridge. Tell you more about it later. Used to be a ferry that used to go across there before, the big long bridge. Yes, it's Canada only. maybe I have some weeks that I don't have things planned. Maybe I can throw in a U.S. thing in there. See if we can test our Canada participants. Never mind, you're out. Well, maybe it can learn something. From the first picture, obviously it's located near water. This is a really cool church.
A Catholic church.
It is.
But I don't remember where I've seen that Catholic church at.
When this is a place I have been to a long time ago. But when we went by this church, it was a Sunday and we couldn't go in because it was during service. What the heck?
What is that?
She already guessed it, and then somehow I skipped ahead. The heck was that? Anyways.
Prince Edward Island from Anne of Green Gables.
Yep, for some reason that jumped ahead. Anyways, we'll just go through it anyway. See, you don't suck that bad. I gave it away. Google Lens is amazing. So I'll skip through these ones slowly. This is a very maritime looking buildings.
They look Germany colors.
These are really cool. I didn't get out to see this lighthouse, but I did go see another one. But this one was really cool. I did try lobster for the second time. Still didn't like it.
I've tried it, don't like it.
First time we had a friend from Newfoundland had flown some in and he prepared it and I tried it and I wasn't a fan. So when we went out to PEI, I thought, I'll try it. I'll try it there. Pressure because it's right there by the ocean. See what it's like. Nope, still not a fan. But I ate all the side dishes, the bread and the corn, the salads and stuff. There's a Canadian potato museum. Now this would be a giveaway of what the last picture of is. And these flowers at the bottom, there's a lot of them out there. Lupins. I got some flower seeds when I was out there, but I never did end up planting them. But they can be like an invasive species and take over, so it's a good thing I didn't. So yes, it's Prince Edward Island. And Prince Edward Island, in relation to, it's the smallest province in Canada. And it's kind of cradled in the Gulf of St. Lawrence right there. It's surrounded by New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And then in relation to where it is to the United States, there's Maine and New Hampshire. Newfoundland's over here. And the only two provinces I haven't been to is Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. So that's a goal in my.
Where is your? Are you up more north?
I am way over here.
Oh, you're on my face. Your face.
I'm way over here because Quebec's here, and then Ontario's beside that. Now, a friend of mine that traveled from Ontario, they came across at, I think it was at Niagara, and then through New York and up through New Hampshire and Maine and came through that way. My mom and I traveled up near Ottawa, that cut through Montreal and Quebec and then came up here in this part of the Trans-Canada Highway that comes down along number 2 here, stopped right about here in Ormocto where my cousin had been stationed, and then went across to here. And when we went, there was no bridge. We took a ferry across. So that's a little bit. So that's the Confederation Bridge. The construction started in 1993. So that was about 4 years after I had been to Prince Edward Island. It opened in May 31st, 1997. It is 12.9 kilometers or 8 miles long. And it connects Cape Girardeau, New Brunswick to Borden, Carleton, PEI. And it goes across, this is Northumberland Strait. Now, normally the toll is $20 to cross, but last summer they ran a special with the ferries and the toll bridge and that and cut fares in half. It is over 197 feet high, so a lot of the big ships can go underneath it, including cruise ships, but I don't know about the cruise ships we see, but so that's a little history on that picture. Province House is in Charlottetown, PEI, which is the capital of Prince Edward Island. It was completed in 1847, and early legislature there led to the Confederation being signed in 1867 that made Canada a country. My parents went there. My parents in 1994? No, 96. My oldest had turned 2. 1996, my parents and a friend went out and did the Maritimes. Well, they didn't do Newfoundland. They did New Brunswick, PEI, and Nova Scotia. And they were able to go in. And this is St. Mary's Church in Indian River, PEI. It was built in 1902. It was a Roman Catholic church. It was decommissioned in 2009, and it's a historic site now. And I put in a picture of the inside that I found online. You went to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia on a cruise in 2001. Maybe that's the way I need to get to Nova Scotia, is to take a cruise and then tell my biological brother, who I've never met yet, to come across to Halifax or wherever the cruise goes to and say, come on, meet me there. But it's a very beautiful church. I do have other pictures of the inside. I just don't know where all my pictures went from that trip. And this was just some pictures of some shops and boutiques in Charlottetown. This one place down here, it was called, I forget what it was called now. I don't know if I can zoom in or not. But Moon Snail.
What's the moon snail?
Moon Snail was like a soap, had soaps and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's all kinds of little boutique-y things along there.
Sounds like a metaphysics shop.
Yeah, it does to me too. Come on. Come on, I want to get to the next picture. There we go. Now the glass bottle houses. It said it's Wellington, PEI. When I went, it was called Cape Egmont, but it's the same bottle houses. There's 3 buildings. And it's made out of over 25,000 recycled liquor bottles. There's this one that's a house. I forget what the third one is. One of them looks like a church. And someday if I find people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. No, they shouldn't. And they had to end up, I think, capping off some of them because like wasps and hornets and stuff would try to get inside the bottles and build nests. So they had to do something there. But I haven't been out there since 2000. I haven't been out there since 1989. Hopefully get back there one day. This is the East Point Lighthouse. It's on the far east tip of PEI.
So there is more than one East Point.
There's also a West Point Lighthouse. We went to one that was either on the north side or south side. I can't remember where, but there it was 2 major lighthouses. This one was built in 1867 by William McDonald and his 2 sons and a blacksmith. It's a wooden lighthouse that is 65 feet tall. There's 67 steps up to the light. It is located around Elmira, PEI. It's open for tours, self-guided tours from May to September. It's about $6.90 to go through the self-guided tour. And it kind of it's kind of close to where the Atlantic Ocean, the St. Lawrence River, not St. Lawrence River, Gulf of St. Lawrence and Northumberland Strait meet. And then if you look at the cliffs, there's a lot of Prince Edward Island. The soil is this reddish color because it has a high iron oxide content. And there's a way you can actually, instead of like tie dyeing a shirt, you can dye a shirt by using the dirt or the clay or whatever. And that'd be cool to do. I've seen it somewhere before. It comes out with a reddish tinge to it. I do have. See if it's still in this corner. I have a film container that I have some soil from PEI. Do this with it.
Okay. Be neat. You could tie dye your shirt one day.
I wish I had more of it to either do a shirt or to put it in a jar like I did with my sand. So that'd be something to do someday if I go travel out there, is to get some to do maybe I should do a jar of Canadian sand. I don't think. No, I don't have anything from Canada in that sand jar. I think that's everything on that one. Yep. Like I said, the lobster dinners. They are lots of the restaurants, of course, have lobster dinners. There's still some churches that will do lobster dinners. Usually between the spring and the fall. And it was looking at the prices. It was like $47.95 and up for like a 1 pound lobster, and included appetizers, salads, desserts, sides like corn or bread or whatever, potatoes. Looks like some PEI potatoes over there. And then we have the Canadian Potato Museum, home of the world famous PEI potato. It's the world's largest exhibit of potato-related farm machinery. PEI potato farmers grow about 100 different kinds of potatoes. And then there's a restaurant in there as well. Admission was posted at $13 for adults, $11 for seniors, and $30 for a family, or groups of 10. It's $10 each. But I've never seen that place. And then this picture here in Anne of Green Gables, Kensington, PEI. It's kind of this is part of a park. It was built in 1872 by the author's aunt and uncle. The author of the story Anne of Green Gables is Lucy Maud Montgomery. It's a home of beloved fictional heroine Anne, and it includes a gift shop, a craft store. There's carriage rides. Takes about an hour and a half to tour, and prices are listed like $9 for an adult and $3 for anyone 6 to 16. And I think I put another picture in there. Oh, come on. Well, let's see if I can stop sharing that. I thought I added it on there. See if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it.
Around $10 ain't bad to tour a place.
No, not at all. Let's see if I can find the picture. Not what I want. I want pictures. I want my pictures. It's going to show an old picture. And where'd it go? There it is. See if I can get this picture to come up. It's going to take its own sweet time. Okay.
Hey, Scott. Welcome, welcome. So I guess that potato house, do they grow enough to sell throughout, or they use it on that island only?
No, you can, like in Canada, I can go to the store and buy PEI potatoes. Now, that person there on the left side,
That's like you.
that would be me, and the other one is my friend Troy. My OG friend Troy, before I met all these other friends named Troy. Okay.
Oh, who wears short shorts?
Those were short shorts. I didn't. There was that, and there was another a one-piece outfit, but same color of those shorts. And after that, it was like, yeah, these don't fit really good. Like I said, my mom and I and a friend drove out to PEI in 1989. We went to work as staff on a scouting jamboree at Fort Amherst, and that's part of like a national park now. And that where Fort Amherst was, it was established in 1720 as an entry point for European settlers. So that was my adventure to PEI. Hope to go back. Some pretty cool places to see. There was a toy shop we traveled one day to see. Cavendish. There's a really cool beach there to go see. There's lighthouses, big lighthouses on either point, the west point and the east point. There's a lot of stuff to see in Charlottetown. It was an adventure. So I would like to go back out and do PEI again, but I also want to do Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. And then I can say I've been to all the provinces. I've done 8 out of 10 provinces. I would like to do the last 2. $13 per potato. No, $13 to go in and tour the museum. I'm not sure how much PEI potatoes are, but they're good potatoes. And then some of them ones that are grown, like not everywhere, but a lot of the PEI soil is red. And the ones that are grown in that soil will have a reddish tinge to the outside. I used to have, because my aunt and my cousins went out, I used to have, it was a potato made out of clay, but it was like the reddish clay. I don't know if I packed it away somewhere or Oh, fun. Yeah, my son usually buys the russet potatoes, but I have seen PEI potatoes around here. I think more in the fall when they're still kind of fresh. Now we got whatever's left over, the Ontario potatoes. Yeah, that's not something I would look forward into doing yet, Liz. I still have to do.
Did it once, won't do it again.
Well, I got the little test, the screening test to do and send back in. But it's like, okay, you got to do this, and then you got to do this and do this, and then it's like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. So it's still sitting on my desk here to do. Otherwise, I've been getting all my little things.
They all come back at normal because they see food in your poop. I'm joking. I don't know.
I keep my fingers crossed that everything comes out well. I could make a comment there, but I won't.
Now, could it be that
He's a
one
perfect
person that's a meat eater and one person that's a vegetarian Could their tests come out different?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I still like. There's my little thing I have to do and send in. Because they sent me a reminder. It's like, yeah, I will get to it. I will get to it. It's on my to-do list. Because that's my fear. Is that's because I've had issues with gluten and stuff like that, and my thing is like, it's going to come back abnormal. And then I'm going to have to go for the colonoscopy, and then it's not the colonoscopy that's.
No, the colonoscopy.
It's the damn prep.
It's a prep. Uh-huh.
I went through it with both parents and cleaned up messes because of the prep.
You might as well just take your phone, your little tablet, sit in the bathroom for 4 hours and just sit there.
You got to get up once in a while and stand for a minute, because otherwise I don't know about anybody else, but my legs go numb if I sit too long.
Yeah.
On my live stream talking shit. No, I forget which parent was the last one to have it done. And it was like, oh my God, going from point A to point B. And it was like, oops.
Yeah.
Yep, this life went to shit real fast. But it's best we get things done, and I need to call and make an appointment for a follow-up from the pathology thing off my nose, because they didn't fax the thing over to the doctor's office, so I had to wait for them to get the fax over to the doctor's office. And she called the other day, left a message that was there to make an appointment to come in, follow up on it. And then there's all the other. I had the lady thing, most of the lady things done. Mammogram's not till like June. I'm catching up on all the little things. Because I was bad and didn't do nothing for about 5 years. So. And then I can nag at my kids. Did you go and get your blood work done yet? Because I haven't been to a doctor. Well, Trevor had been, and then for some reason last year he went to renew his prescriptions, and they said he wasn't an active patient. And I was like, that doesn't make sense, because he'd been going in every 3 to 6 months to get refills. And then I'm just wondering, because he had to call in for work, and the regional guy's a real twit. He goes, oh, you need a doctor's note. So he made an appointment to get a doctor's note on a Monday morning. And then Monday morning before he went to the doctor, the regional guy goes, oh, I don't need the doctor's note. So Trevor didn't have time to give the 24 hours notice to cancel. So Trevor owed the doctor money for a missed appointment. So I wondered who that was. But him and I went in. I went in to stop by to make an appointment, and he went in and to see what was going on, and he paid the $50 that he owed and made an appointment, and they gave him his one prescription. The other prescription he didn't go back on, but then after him and his girlfriend, well, mostly Trevor, had thrush about a month and a half ago in his mouth. Don't ask me how. Anyways, we had to go spend 7 hours in a merge. It's like, yeah, you guys are going to get checked over. Girlfriend hasn't been to the doctor in years. My oldest hasn't been to the doctor in years. So when Trevor and I went to the doctor, we picked up applications and gave one to the girlfriend, one to my oldest, and it's like, fill them out. And we're going to be on each other's cases to get all the stuff done. Overdue for eye doctor. I had mine done. It's coming up on 2 years in August, September. And I'm only covered right now to go every 2 years. But I had got I had got new glasses that September, and that was 6 months after I had fallen over Cali and fractured my wrist and broke my glasses and cut my so I had finally replaced the glasses that were sitting like this on my face half the time. I think my glasses are still good, but my eye doctor retired too. She did my eye appointment 2 years ago, and then she's since retired. But instead of getting the glasses where the office she was in, I took them to a place over in the mall called Specsavers, and I got 2 pairs for less than it would have cost me for 1 pair. So I got this pair, and then I have. Let's see if I. My other pair is like my old pair. So I can go this one, or I can go these ones. These are smaller and more square than like my old ones were. You need.
I like big frames.
Well, I liked these because I didn't like big gaudy frames, but then I tried on these ones, and like these aren't bad. But I mostly wear these ones, the plastic ones. But I can look down with. If I look down with these ones, I look below the glasses. I look down these ones, I'm looking through the glasses. Yeah, I need mine for reading and for the computer. I don't necessarily need them for anything else. But I got the 2 pairs for, I think it was 2 pairs for $299. And my pair that I had before that, between the glasses and the appointment, because they were bifocals, it cost me nearly $700. I was like, I can't afford that. So I wore readers. I wore the dollar store ones for the longest time too. They were contacts. I don't know if I could do the contacts. My cousin went to contacts. Well, she wears her glasses down here, but when she's up in Nunavut, she wears contacts, especially because the glasses fog up, so you go in and out or anywhere. But that's why. The only thing I find, I don't know, is the way these ones sit, but these ones get dirty really easily. So yeah, sucks getting old. The body goes to hell. The eyes went. Well, my eye doctor is about the same age as me, and we both have 2 boys. I think her oldest is the same age as her oldest is a little bit younger than my oldest, and then her youngest is just a little bit, or it's around the same age as Trevor. It's funny because her oldest was in a heavy metal group with my middle one, my adopted one, but my middle one. And her oldest did the screamo singing that it was like, you listen to the music and then you looked at the kid and you go like, that voice doesn't fit that clean cut looking guy. But it's a small world. She was in with the eye doctor my parents went to. That's how I ended up with her. And then that over the years, but I'd gone to see her. We're about the same age. And it was like just after I turned 40. And I was like complaining of having to do like this to read the cell phone kind of thing. She did the test of that. And she goes, over 40, right? Yeah. She started laughing. Like, yep. It's all downhill from there. It's like, and then I kind of got panicky too a couple years ago where I had got in to see her for the last time and got new glasses. Is I'd be outside walking Cali, whether it be night or early morning, and I was seeing like the halos of light around the street lights and stuff. And I was like, I'm looking that up. I was like, am I getting cataracts already? Because my biological mother had cataract surgery. And I was like, so when I had seen her last, I asked about it. She goes, no worse than I have. I was like, okay, so I guess I'm okay for now. She goes, yeah. No worse than anybody at her age. There's nothing to worry about right now. It's like, okay. And my mom didn't have her surgery done until she was over 70, so I guess I got a while.
Yep, I have a little bit of cataract, but it's been there for years and it's not changed, not growing, not enough to you can barely see it. So I'm leaving it alone.
When my aunts had cataract surgery, my dad had it done, but my dad also had a bacteria get in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened when he was working pipeline and digging out in the fields, in the farm fields and stuff like that, when they were laying pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
It happened, and then like decades later it happened again. And the weird thing is it was from toxoplasmosis, which is the bacteria you have to watch out with having cats and litter boxes. The pregnant women, are supposed to not deal with litter boxes because that could harm the baby, the toxoplasmosis. But somehow that got into his eyes, and so kind of figured out it was maybe in the soil when they were doing the pipeline in the fields or whatever. So when he had the scar tissue, it left. He only had peripheral vision in the one eye, and then it happened to the other eye. So he only had some vision. Well, then when he was getting cataracts, they did the cataract surgery so he could have some limited vision. That was still like awkward for him. He could look straight at you, but he could see over here, but he couldn't see you. So you have to turn a bit to, which affected his job too, because he later on became a crane operator, and he had to give that up because he couldn't see to do his job safely. So man lived an interesting life. All kinds of different construction. He through pipeline and doing pipeline out west, and he was out where they made the pipes for the pipeline and helped lay pipeline across Canada. So I ended up living in 4 different provinces before I was 5 years old. But then it was weird because we ended up in Montreal, and then while we were living in Montreal, he ended up working somewhere in Ontario and would drive to Ontario, be gone all week, come back to Montreal for the weekend, and then take off again. And then before I was 5, he said, "We're moving to Ontario. She's not going to a French school." So we moved to Ontario. We moved back here to Sarnia because all our family's down here. So, but then he still ended up driving up to up near Peterborough, Ontario. I'm not sure. I can't remember the RB Somerville. I think there was still another pipeline thing doing that, and then he got into a bad accident coming home when I was 6, and we almost lost him. And then after that, it was like, nope. He stayed. Once he was healed up enough to get another job, then he did the crane operating. And it's like, nope, stayed local. None of this driving back and forth stuff. And it was a heck of a truck accident, but hit head on by a drunk driver that came through the center grass median in the highway, and he seen her coming, pulled off, stopped, and she still hit him head on. And then she tried to sue for damages. It's like, you're the one at fault, idiot. Interesting life.
Yeah. She's the one that almost killed him, and she would.
Yeah. She was driving intoxicated with her kid and her kid's friend in the back seat. They walked away. My dad dang near didn't. I do have the pictures on my Facebook, but I won't bring them up at this point in time. Although I did talk about, if I can find it. I showed a picture. I talked about my house that I lived in growing up, and what they've done to it. If I can find. I found them today, but where did I put it? Where did I put it? This is the house I grew up in from the time I was 5. This tree right here, the trees in this picture is like about 50 years old. And that came from the farm that our family settled on when they came from Scotland. Now these people I sold the house to, that's a picture when it went up for sale too. When I people I sold it to cut that down. They have put all these trees and everything else and all these planters in the front yard. It looks horrible when you drive by. Everybody else has got nice normal yards, and this tree here needs to come down. This big one here. I don't know if they took the other one down or because there's 2 of those there. One they might have taken one down. Also, this tree out back there that needs to come down because it's right up against the fence, and that was a messy black walnut one. They put this porch up, they put a fence up, and they painted it baby blue. That's kind of weird, but I just shake my head when I drive by now. But way back when in scouting in Canada, they had a fundraiser called Trees for Canada, and you went out and kind of got sponsors, whatever, and people would sponsor you for so much for each tree you planted. But whether you planted 10 trees or 100 trees. So we would go out and help with those. Well, my dad would bring home trees. Well, he stuck these 2 silver maples, which that big, huge one is a silver maple, in the front yard. And then in between, he had stuck cedar trees. Well, the cedar trees got to be about a foot in diameter, yeah. They got to be about a foot, and they started dying in that. So we cut those down. A family that come to the office I worked at had a tree company, and they had to be doing a job around the corner, and the husband came around with the stump grinder and ground the stumps down for me on those trees. So got rid of the stumps at least. But those 2 silver maples that he had stuck in, and the black walnut one, he stuck like too close to the fence, and it's like huge around and pushing on the fence. And it's like, I wanted all 3 of those trees down, but it's expensive to get trees cut down. Although if I could have got that, if I could have afforded to get the black walnut cut down, I could have sold that wood and probably made money, because the black walnuts, it was a very straight tree, and that kind of wood's expensive. But yeah, I left them up, and the one is definitely too close to the house, because I was like, those roots are going to be into the system or do damage to the foundation, but not my problem now. So every now and then look up the house we grew up in online and see what changed. Well, we still have had friends on that street. I think there's like one family left I know of, maybe two. And like if I go over to my aunt's, like sometimes I cut through that subdivision, so I'd look at it, and it's like it just makes me sick to look at the mess that the front yard looks like now. And yes, I wanted to put in a nice porch out front, but it's like baby blue with a red brick. Just looks a little weird. But their choice. I kicked my ass that I sold that house though. It would have been a lot better for us to have stayed there. But when my oldest ex-wife moved in and they got married, and that they decided they wanted their own place. So instead of staying a little, maybe if they had they only stayed about 4 months and then they moved out. But if they had stayed, say, a year, they could have saved up more money for a down payment on a house or something like that, rather than going into an apartment. But then they ended up in the house in Wallaceburg. And now she's moved on to Germany. And my kid's stuck with the house. At least she still helps with the mortgage payment.
Oh, so she did finally move to Germany.
Yes, she did. But she does send money for the half the mortgage and half the bills. But yeah, that's because she wanted a house. Everything had to be her way. But live and learn. I didn't listen when I was the same age. Sometimes we have to make hard choices.
Yep, you're young and you're learning, and they may not be right. But on the other hand, they may be the best decision you ever made.
Or hindsight, you look back and going like, yeah, we should have stayed at Mom's house for a while longer, or I should have kept the house and maybe got a student or somebody else to rent a room in the basement or something to help cover the bills. But it was a nice neighborhood. I would love to be back in that area. Like there are some townhouses over there. We lived when I got married, we lived about 10 minutes outside of town. And then the house that my ex and I lived in when we first got married, it was friends of his family that were renting it, but previous tenants didn't keep it very clean. I happened to keep it clean, and the 3 months after we moved in, the house sold. So I ended up moving into town, and the townhouse we moved into in town, my grandfather's cousin was our landlady. And it was a nice townhouse. It's much similar to this one, other than it only had one bathroom, and that was upstairs. There was no bathroom on the main floor, and the basement was all unfinished. It was a little bit smaller than this place. And I lived in there for 12 years until my mom passed, and then I had to move in with my dad, who had Alzheimer's or dementia, and then I inherited the house after my dad passed. So there is those townhouses still there, but I was like, yeah, imagine the price of them now. I'd be curious what the price of the rent is on now, because like when we moved in, it was $500 and something for rent. I moved out, it was $700 and something for rent. I imagine by now it's probably double that, but they can only, increase rent so much. And there's some other townhouses over in that neighborhood too, but at one time I drove through there a couple streets over, and there was a house for rent. And then I drove by a week later, and it was no longer up for rent. And I was like, dang it. I would love to rent something over there, or a house or something. Win a lottery and get a homestead. Have three houses on it. You give me just a little tiny home, and then, my kids can each have a whole house. we can, I'll mind my own business. You guys can have yours. And if we can get together once in a while for dinner or something, but I keep dreaming, but we'll see someday. I have the landlord's tenant stuff coming up again in April. And that's this weekend's job is to gather up all the paperwork and then contact the legal lady here in town that was been helping us. Everybody that so far that it's gone through, I think everybody pretty much it's been dismissed or withdrawn or whatever. Because we've been here long before this landlord took over, so all our stuff is grandfathered in. And they had a nerve to send us out a thing about parking last week, an email about parking. I'm like, really? On my lease, it says $0. And where'd she say? Oops. Writing to inform you that an upcoming change to the parking arrangements of the property, in order to better accommodate residents who are currently paying for reserved parking spots, we will be reassigning parking spots and reducing the number of designated visitor parking spaces. This suggestion is necessary to ensure that residents who pay for parking have consistent and reliable access to their assigned spaces. We understand that changes to parking can be inconvenient, and we appreciate your understanding as we work to improve parking availability for our paying residents. Yeah, well, my spot says reserved for number 15. I'm number 15, so if you move that, that's okay. I'm going to print out that email and we'll put that in with the crap that they're trying to nickel and dime us. Started with the air conditioning fees that it wants to pay for air conditioning, which on my lease says $0. It says $0 in there. This is what the fight's been. and then non-payment of that, they put it in the credit bureau, which has affected my credit score. Our lease is on a month-to-month now, but it has been after the first year, but these people took over and they thought they can just do what they want. They don't even come around, and so they're worried about the energy to run 2 air conditioners. They want us to pay $220 per air conditioning unit for the season from May to September. So I have 2. I have one upstairs in my room that I put in here, and then I blow fan to. Cause we have another one that the other ones can put in their bedroom, but they choose not to. So I just let the fan blow, and then we have one down in the kitchen. So they want me to pay $440 on top of. I was talking to my aunt's friend. They pay $40 a month extra for during the summer season. I'm like, they want $440. If I put the third one in, that would be $660. And it's like, you're worried about energy efficiency of the air conditioner? How about the fridge that you guys provided that's 14 years old, or the stove that you guys have provided with that the stripping is gone, so the heat leaks out the top of my oven. Like, I got all that in as evidence into the uploaded too, so I'm just gonna provide all the stuff to my legal person and let her have at it with them. She's managed to help a bunch of the other ones out, so. Heat's way more expensive. I can imagine. Well, they took when they took over. They tried to put a gas meter, a water meter, and a hydro meter in each unit, and wanted us to switch over to the thing and pay per. I was like, yeah, no. We have to agree to do it, and most of us have not agreed to do that. Anybody new leases have to, but it's like well, I'm paying my rent, which is ridiculous, plus AC fees, plus gas, plus water, plus hydro, plus parking. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'm sticking around here. Someday we hope to find something different, or I don't know. We'll see how things go April 23rd. But I have my whole stack of paper over here to go through and then print off. I had to get ink to print off the stuff for all the emails they've sent me to remind me that you have an outstanding balance. Yeah, that's the AC fees that I refuse to pay. Oh yes, and you put that into the credit bureau. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Affected my credit score. Thank you. I had it coming up. Now it's come back down because the last 6 months you decided to put that against my credit score. Like, whatever. See how things go on the thing. Yep. Well, you go relax on the recliner. I'm going to say goodnight and probably find something else to eat because I only had an egg about 4 o'clock. Thanks for coming in, Liz. Love you, girl. Have a good night, a good weekend, and good luck with everything next week. Hope everything comes out clear. Bye for now.
Bye, Liz.